We have the Verus, is that how you say it? Verus or Verus? Verus. I think it's Verus. Engineering Swan neck wing. It's very nicely done. Multiple wing angle mounts here. We're going to make another YouTube video as well of the install on this car. What to do now, we're going to install the Verus Engineering wing on this Cayman R. So first thing I got to do is unbolt this rear wing. $5 says I drop one of these. One. Oh my God, got it. Alright, so the wing is unbolted. So the purpose of the tape is just because I'm going to get in here and pry on it a little bit. And I don't want to scratch the car. So when I put tape, I just try to get it to go under the lip. I'm just using my air wedge to lift it up so I can break the adhesive. I'll set this off to the side, and then I need to clean this surface and prepare it for the new wing.
Yeah, just glass cleaner.
Yeah. So this stuff, there's nothing you can really do about it. You just gotta kind of drag it around until it softens up. Just let that sit for a second. So I'm using a plastic razor blade. Get that. This is where you speed it up, Keith. Make it look like it took me 2 seconds, right? So the key to this is don't spend a whole lot of time in one spot. The key to this is keep on wiping to get the residue off, and then reapply whatever solution you're using. We use 3M adhesive remover. The key to this is you just get it in there and agitate it just a little bit, and then you let the chemical do the work, and you take it off in little bitty layers. If you sit there in one spot, you'll be there all day long. And then we just use non-marring plastic razor blades. So this should be the final little wipe. Like that. And that should be good to go. So I'm gonna final clean this, which is looking good. And then we have some leftover dirt. This is just from years of dirt sitting on the car. So we're just gonna cut that out really quick. I am not a professional detailer, so I just use a little bit of mirror cut. So don't make fun of me for holding this wrong or anything else. But that's good enough till we send it to the actual detailer. So I know what I just did was not necessary, but I 100% believe in my entire motto as a business owner is it's what underneath the covers that counts the most. So the piece that I'm installing might cover this, but for me, I know it's there. So I have to be able to sleep at night and know that I did not cut a corner installing this product on a customer's car. So it's very, very important to me. Even though nobody's ever going to see that, I know it's there. That's kind of our company philosophy. Take an extra 2 minutes and do it right. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. We have a drawing. So I would assume 2, 4. Yeah, I would assume all these come out. I mean, that makes sense, Keith?
I would say yes.
That's not the right size. This is the right size, but I refuse to use a hand tool. So I'm going to waste time to go find the tool that I need, even though I could have had them out by now. Turbo! What's up, pal? What do you say? Huh? Is he behaving? So I'm going to bust these screws out. They're longer. They're dissimilar lengths. So it looks like the outside too. No, not the case. So everything that we do is all based around production. How do I get the job done as fast as possible? So let me grab my Sharpie. We will mark which one of these holes takes a short screw. So looking at it this way, this needs to turn around. Yep, so outside is going to be, so this must stay in. This one must stay in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. So short, 2 longs, short. That way we just go back to the drawing. We don't get confused. Those are all the same size. A short one there. And a short one here. So we don't have to drill any holes. It doesn't seem like we have to drill any holes in our piece here. But if you ever had to drill a hole, a blind hole in carbon, Keith will put a link to the video of how to do that using Hyman transfer screws. It's a cool video we made, at least it's cool to me. We made it a couple of years ago. So let's go see how this fits. So it's a good thing we thought ahead and polished everything, because it doesn't actually go to the end.
There's nothing there either.
Yep. So, this is what I'm going to do to help myself get centered. I left my Sharpie over there, didn't I, Keith? Aha. Thank you, sir. So I'm just going to slide this guy down here. Do one of these. Eyeball my center.
You need a ruler?
No, not yet. Not yet, buddy. Not yet. So what I'm going to do, instead of measuring each side independently of each other, I'm going to make a mark here on the top edge, and I'm going to make another one right here on that top edge. Then I'm going to put a piece of tape here around that edge, and then we're going to find center. So let me get a tape measure. So what I need to do now is I need to center that on the trunk. So the easiest way to do that, so I marked my top edge. So I need to, this is receding. This is a receding point. So obviously down here versus up here. So I need to find center. So I'm going to run across my line, right? Both my lines. Center is 35.5. So half of 35.5 would be 17 3/4, right? So somewhere around 17 3/4, which is right underneath the M here, (17 3/4) across the line, which is here. I need to make my mark. So I'm going to make a mark right here. It sucks not having a mask on, or having a mask on, because I can't put this in my mouth, which is probably good for COVID concerns. Then I need to go to my wing, and I need to do the same thing. I need to find center on my wing. Perfect. So now I have center of this, and I have center of that. We'll double check ourselves. That's about right there. Right, so then we're just gonna do a quick double check. Discount double check. We got 2.5 on that side. And 2 1/16. So I'm gonna come over 2 1/4. That should be center. Yep. So what I can do now is I can take my Sharpie and I can draw my profile like that, and then over. So now I can take that off if I need to. And I'll check myself one more time. Then we can take our plan and line this up. So I think we need to cut this out. I think we need to cut this out. One other thing we could check is if they profiled, because it's an R, we could see if the holes match up, which they probably don't because this is an R and this is not based off of that chassis. But maybe it is. And it's not. So what I need to do now is I need to get my plan out, cut my plan out, and measure my holes to drill. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a link in the description of this video on some of these tools that we have here. I'm a big fan of Clecos and air wedges and stuff like that. Whatever it takes to get the job done as fast as possible. I hope I'm supposed to cut these lines. I should have read the instructions. I think this is the point in the video where everybody double taps to go forward 10 seconds until they see some action. So, let's see how this lays out. They actually did this to fit the profile, so we didn't even have to spend all that time to find center, which is crazy. But we're gonna do this anyways. So I think we're lined up pretty good. All right, so I think we should just blast these holes. What do you think?
Send it.
I think we should blast these holes and see what happens. And X marks the spot, right? That's why I clamp it all the way around as I go. That way the paper doesn't distort. So why am I using this? I'm using this.
For the dribble.
I know it's super expensive, but the reason I use this is everybody's had the center punch that you push down and the thing pops. It's got a little spring. They never work. They work like 6 times. This is good old reliable mechanical plunger with a spring on it, and you can have it in your toolbox for your lifetime of being a mechanic, and it will never fail. You'll never have to be caught out without it. So that's why I use those. And that tool pouch, I'll show you guys, it's cool. It's got punches, it's got chisels, it's got drifts. It's got a lot of stuff in it. So it's got a chisel, same thing, a plunger chisel, a plunger jiff, the center punch, and then a little tiny micro center punch for like 1/8 inch stuff, but we're gonna be drilling a little more aggressive. And then we're gonna run into problems down here. And we're gonna have to relieve some of this stuff, so it's gonna be super important to go straight. So what I'm doing here is I'm going through and I'm marking my holes, and then I'm making sure I don't have a burr stuck on there, which will fling around to the side and screw the paint up. That first little chip, and it'll walk your drill bit, like see that one there, and I just pop it off. I just make nice, clean, tidy holes. And then we can just blast through this. So I don't want to drill down through and hit the weather stripping or something else. I want to make sure I go straight. And I don't want to go straight this way, parallel with the ground. I want to go straight with the hood. So actually, let me get something to show you guys what you can do. What you can use, because it's super critical to get this straight, is you can use a drill guide.
So now that you know there's another piece, you know it's going to go straight.
Yep. Yep.
So now you know.
Like I said, you can use it, or you can just blast it through and spray and pray. But what this does is it helps you, when you're going through double wall, it helps you keep it straight so that when you get to the bottom side, you don't have to enlarge that hole. And also with what I'm doing right now, I pulled the drill bit out really far. That's going to help me keep it straight. And that's why I started this pilot hole, because if I just use the center punch, I could be off of it a little bit. But remember how I started that pilot hole? Now I have really something solid to stick my drill bit down inside.
So it doesn't travel.
And I can just kind of, I can do this a lot faster. So another, 20 seconds of prep helps me later.
So you're trying to figure out the smallest diameter you can drill?
Plus a little fudge room, just in case the paper's printed crookedly. Not my holes. My holes are perfect. Hope this works.
So this is the chamfer?
Yeah, it's just a little deburr. Once again, nobody's ever gonna see it, but we know it's there. We need to get these holes transferred to the bottom side, but we have an issue. We have a problem we need to solve. We have to get a big fender washer in the hole. So we need an 18 mil fender washer. So if my holes are drilled correctly, I should just be able to that's the dullest unibit in history. So Keith just yelled at me because I'm drilling and I don't have safety glasses on. And he's not wrong. So Keith's battery died in his GoPro, at least that's the story. So basically what it is, I drilled a 3/4 inch hole because I want this to look like this. So this is a nice hole right here. So I drilled a 3/4 inch hole. I ran around it with a Tootsie Roll to deburr everything and get it nice and smooth. And then I just used some crocus cloth. I don't even know, this is probably, 400 grit. And I just use a little crocus cloth. Just get the edge really nice and smooth, like that. And now, even though that hole's on a crest, it looks like it's supposed to be there and it's not jagged like this one. So he's gonna cut the camera and I'm gonna drill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna do this 8 more times and we'll be back shortly. Got all of our holes drilled and we had lunch. So now we're all energized and ready to rock and roll. So I got my template, I got my holes there. So to help myself get lined up here, I'm going to take this, find my hole, like so. This is usually where you get the I can't find the hole joke, right? Did you hear that? That's torque. But if you realize I'm only getting hand leverage. But that was the stainless against the aluminum. So even though I'm tightening it tight. I'm using such a short, I have no leverage. So I'm just tightening it by hand. That. So, it's on. That's got a nice gasket. It's all trimmed down. It looks good, it fits flush. So these guys think of everything. These guys think of everything. They gave us plugs for the bottom of our wing. Watch, my holes are gonna be too big. Which they aren't. I think it's actually gonna work. Yep, look at that. We guessed correctly on the size. So we'll finish all that later, the finishing touches, but it's a nice touch. And then we just gotta put our wing on. How cool is that? But you know, you don't have to twist anything. Everything lines up. Everything lines up perfectly. It's awesome. I love it. And I think the end plates are adjustable as well.
They are.
So with no bolts tightened down, this is how good of a piece it is. With no bolts tightened down at all, it's solid. So that's with everything loose. That's, you know, all the holes are proper, the hardware's proper. This is going to be a super awesome piece. And then the wing end plates. The wing end plates are going to be, which side is which? Like this. Right? Yep. It's got a nice little, I am not an aerodynamical engineer, but I'm sure that does some purpose. Couldn't tell you what it is. Something to do with airflow. And this is super cool. So they have, if this has to be the end plate hardware, but check this out. It's a metric 4, but then they gave us a nice countersunk disc here for the screw, and then an O-ring on the back side to seal it, which is super cool. This is a Belleville washer, right? So it's got a little bit of a crown right here, and then you have that rubber O-ring, and it works much like a cam lock does. So it's not a flat washer, it's got a little bit of a spring to it. There's an O-ring behind it, and what this does is, if you just try to put like an M4 and just a little washer right here, it's gonna tighten down, but it's gonna put severe load on the carbon. So this is a very, very nice spring washer that when it tightens down, that crown will torque down, which I'm super excited about. You see how wide it is. And that crown will torque down, and it evens the load, much like on this RSR we use cam lock. So it's much like a cam lock, but it's a screw instead. So it's a spring washer. And these are not cheap. You know, these are expensive pieces, and they come in the kit, which I'm super excited about. But the only bad part is that O-ring is not going to want to cooperate with me. So let me show you a trick. Just put a little dab of silicone grease. This is Chemplex 710. It's just a standard silicone grease, and then that'll keep your washer in place. I have no idea where I'm going to set this yet because we're not on a scale pad, but I'll just kind of tighten that down just a little bit. As well as this, I'm not going to tighten this down fully yet because we're not on a pad. very well made piece. I'm super impressed. I was skeptical, but I'm super impressed. There's a lot of people out there that make carbon aero packages that are construction-wise leave a lot to be desired. Very nice. So that's it. She's installed. And Keith, when the rest of the car is built, he'll put a final picture up of what it looks like. But big thanks to the guys at Verus. This is an awesome piece. We're super happy about it. I just want to sit here and look at it.
It does look really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we got the car back from the wrap guy, which turned out amazing. It's like this green metallic. Did the end plates, that's all adjusted. The wings tightened down, it's all adjusted. We got our crazy green Porsche logo on it, and this thing's super sturdy. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a GT car's rear wing, but a GT car's rear wing will move around side to side like crazy. And this one's super, super solid, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm overjoyed with the results, and I think the customer's gonna love it when he gets the car. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and like us on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Did I get that right?
No.
What did I do?
Like us on Instagram.
Oh, fuck. I always mess that up. So it's like us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube. Good job.